everyone, welcome back to another Monday makeup lesson. Today we have moved on to chapter 5 of my book, and chapter 5 is all about contouring and highlighting, but we did talk a little bit about this in chapter 4, so make sure you're up to date with 4 and 5 along with the videos that are in the description box as well. But today I'm going to teach you guys how to use this technique to contour and highlight for your face shape. So if you are ready, let's get started. To start with, make sure your skin is prepped and ready to go, so apply your moisturizer and your primer. This will give the makeup something to hold on to, and all you need for this routine, because it's a cream one, is a foundation or a concealer a couple of shades lighter and a couple of shades darker, and also a concealer brush. Load up your concealer brush with the shade that you've chosen, and you're going to go from the inner corner of the eye down the length of the nose and then up past the eye towards the temple. Then draw a line from that inner corner underneath the eye and join up on the outer corner, and then fill in this triangle. This is the basic triangle for most face shapes. If you want to bring your face a little bit longer and maybe to slim it off a little bit more, you're just going to go from the inner corner down the length of the nose and then just on the outer edge of the eye towards the edge of the nose. And this will just give you the appearance of a longer, thinner face. For an extra step, I like to go along the edge of the nose, and what this does is it kind of blends the edge of your nose with your cheeks. And this will actually help us contour our nose a little bit later. If you have a very slender nose, you might want to skip this step. So now that we have the cheeks ready, it's time to move on to the forehead. What I do is use the edge of the arch of the brow as my guide. I draw 2 lines just above the arch, and then draw a line straight across, and this is as wide as we want to go with our highlight on our forehead. And then to figure out how high we want to bring up our highlight, it actually depends on your forehead. The center of your forehead is a great place to start, and you can actually then join it up with the arch. However, if you have a shorter face and you want to elongate it, you can actually go a little bit higher, and this will really elongate the face by drawing the eyes downwards. Or if you have a very narrow forehead and you want it to be broader, you can actually bring this out to more of a squared shape, and this will really highlight the forehead and give it a broader effect. Now moving on to the nose. If you want to broaden your nose, you're going to use the flat side of the brush and go all the way down the center of the nose. If you want to create a thinner nose, turn your brush on its side so it's a lot thinner and do a very thin line all the way down the center. Then I like to use a little bit on the edge of the nose. This is where hormonally we have redness, so it's nice to get rid of that. And I also do the top of the lip, and this creates a fuller effect on the lips as well, so we get more of a pout. And then also on the chin. Now we do the same thing with the chin as we did with the forehead. If you want to broaden it, you're going to bring this line all the way across, or if you want to lengthen it, you're just going to focus on the center part. Or for an average chin, just work on the very tip here and apply a little bit of the highlight. And to finish highlighting, I'm going to use pretty much whatever's left over on the brush to go underneath the hollow of my cheek, and it will lift my cheekbones a little bit more. So the hollow is just in here, so I can feel for that hollow of my cheek, and I'm just going to go underneath it. So this is what our highlight looks like, and now we're going to move on to contouring. I'm using exactly the same brush, but this time I've loaded it up with a darker shade. I'm going to use this to contour my forehead to begin with. What we do is we go on the opposite side of the arch. So mark in on the other side and then slowly bring it up towards the hairline. And I'm also going to go across the top of my forehead as well. This is because I don't like the height of my forehead, but if you want to elongate your face or elongate your forehead, don't put any contour up here, just lightly contour the sides. If you have a very narrow forehead and you want to broaden it, avoid using any contour really. You can use a little bit of bronzer just in the hairline, but otherwise avoid this step. Now we're going to add some definition to the edge of the nose. If you want to create a thinner nose, go as tight as you can towards that highlighted shade. So really, really close to that highlighter. Apply a little bit on the tip of the nose too. And you can also contour the lips by just going underneath here. This will create that little pout effect and give almost the appearance of a shadow because your lips are that big. Now to contour the cheeks, you're going to use the top of the ear and the corner of your mouth as a guide. Place your brush or the side of your hand in between this area. I like to just press it a little bit so that I get kind of a line, and then I can just follow that exact line with the contour. If you're wondering where to stop this line, have a look straight on in the mirror, and you want to use your pupil as your guide, following the line all the way down, and that's as far as you want to bring your contour. Don't bring it anywhere closer to the lips. And now to do the jawline, I'm going to literally follow the shape of my face, going all along the jawline, and then slightly underneath the chin, and I'm kind of curved around the chin as well. So we've mapped out our contour and highlight, and now it's time to blend. So I'm going to use the F20 from Blank Canvas Cosmetics to do this. So start off with the lighter shade and using a stippling motion to blend this out. So I'm bouncing the brush off and on the skin, and this will just disperse a little bit of the product at a time. Once you feel like you've stippled enough and you want to start blending in the darker shade, we're going to use a feathering technique for that. So the feathering technique is basically to sweep the product into one another, and at the last second you're going to lift the brush off the face. This will very lightly blend the two colors together. And as you can see, I'm pretty much always working upwards. This way we will lift the face rather than dragging it downwards. Once we've buffed everything out, we can set it with a setting spray or a setting powder and then just apply the rest of our makeup. Pretty easy, especially when you have the diagram in front of you. If you don't have the book, definitely check out the link in the description box. They do ship worldwide, they ship everywhere, so definitely check out that link. And I will see you guys in a video on Friday. All my products the night before, and a lot of you are the same with highlighter and highlighting. What we really mean are 2 or 4 different things completely.